Alright, oftentimes I don't like to trade while I'm recording simply because I've sometimes seen problems happening or my charts get delayed or for whatever reason it doesn't work well with the recording software. But I'm gonna give it a shot this morning and see, and the market's gonna open here in the next couple of minutes, and I'll see if I can demonstrate a trade here with two profit targets and show you kind of how I manage that. Now, because I'm using two profit targets, I've just got the simulator here and I've set it for two contracts. And what I've done is I've gone to, instead of just a normal bracket setting, I've come down to select two, it says SO2 targets. And I've got for the Russell here a half point for the first profit target, or 5 ticks, and 10 ticks for the second profit target, or 1 point. I've got a stop loss of a half point, and a break even is checked, which means when my first profit target is filled, it moves my stop loss to break even. Allows me to secure that profit there. So go ahead and watch the market and see if we have any setups. Looks like it's opening now, 9:30, opening bell. Our MACD is in a short position here on the 2-minute chart. So we'd really kind of want to see a trade going short or wait for a better reason to take anything long, but there's no reason to take anything long at this point. The pre-market was pretty slow, as you can see right here. Not much happening there, so we just really need to get a good feel of where the market wants to go first before we make any decisions. I have an inkling it's going to break short. You can see that kind of like a support level right here that it's going to be testing. The TRIX indicator is gravitating below the 0 line, and all of our other indicators are in a short position, but it doesn't really mean much right now while everything's so flat. We really want to see the MACD spread out. There's not really a strong TC going on with the TRIX indicator, even though it is below the 0 line, and nothing great here yet. There it goes. Now it's breaking. It's good, strong push. What I'd hope out of a push like this, now that we see some momentum taking the market down, is that it will hit an area of support, want to bounce back a bit, and then continue going down. And that's when we would be able to take our entry. There's a problem right now with trying to take an entry on a trade like this. It's going to be that right there. At some point it's going to want to come back a bit. The market goes usually in steps. It pushes and then takes a breather, pushes and takes a breather. In this case it looks like a pretty strong support pushing back against the market going down. So we'll just see what happens here. You can see how steep the TRIX indicator has pushed down, and now how strong it's kinking back. That kink in the TRIX really signifies a change in momentum. And that's kind of how we use our kink entry here. Now if this quickly changes momentum again, I'm going to take this as a slingshot, because this can happen, and especially on a 2-minute chart, possibly happen so quickly that we don't have a real stair-step setup on in a 2-minute time frame. But if it changes momentum and leaves us a slingshot type of shadow or pattern, I may take this entry going short here. The key is timing and making sure that the momentum is really going to carry down for you, or carry in your direction. What I do to make sure I get myself ready to take a trade if I'm going to, sometimes the market moves pretty quickly. I put my mouse here right on this freeze button on the trading pad, so I can freeze the market and allow me to pick the price that I want to enter in a little bit easier. And then I click unfreeze and watch it go. Well, it didn't give us that slingshot pattern, and it's quite honestly making me a little cautious about wanting to take a trade going short, because it's pushed back so far on, or retraced so far on this push down. May be an indication that the market isn't going to continue going down, but rather reverse the trend. Okay, I placed an order on this little slingshot happening here, but it moved too quickly. If it sucks back, it might fill. It's right on there. Come on. Okay. My order's filled. Now you can see my profit targets, my stop loss. Hopefully this slingshot will continue going in my direction. I've got a pretty tight stop loss on this, and sometimes that's to my disadvantage. There we go. It's filled one profit target, and it's moved my stop loss to break even. Now most of the time when I do a slingshot trade, I take 5 ticks and I get out. For the purposes of this example, I'm leaving my 10 tick profit target to show you what will happen. If it does suck me out, I've made profit. Otherwise, you let the rest stay in there to run, and it looks like I might actually hit that 10 tick profit target here. I'm going to go ahead and secure a few ticks. Move that order there. Oh, it didn't take it. Oh. Okay, there we go. So what we just saw here is that a few things. Let me just explain. Okay, number one, now look at that. Big reversal. That's the one trick about the Russell. The Russell has so much fluctuation in it that it can really carry quite a ways in your direction if you're lucky. Otherwise, a good signal might go just enough to make a little bit of profit and then quickly turn around on you, like it did in this example. That's often why I'm very conservative with the profit target that I trade with. A 5-tick profit target is really easy. 5 to 6, maybe even 7 ticks is generally a small enough or conservative profit target to get filled with most of our signals. 10 ticks, you start pushing it unless you get in at a really good signal. This particular entry was not an entry that I'd normally trade with a 10-tick profit target because I took the entry off of a slingshot, and this is what can happen with slingshots. Slingshot is really going in on momentum rather than taking a solid trend kink and trend direction. But this is the reason I took the trade. Let me draw this out for you. We've got a high here starting out at the top of the market. When the market pushed down, it bottomed out here creating a low. This next candle came up, produced a high, yet it was so high I wasn't quite open enough to take a trade straight off of that candle unless it gave me a better reason like a slingshot, which it didn't, because a slingshot is really going to have a long tail, hit the opening level, and then carry through, kind of like that candle did. The next candle formed, it pushed up, and then turned into a slingshot for me. As far as our trend confirmation, the MACD is in the short position. Our SMAs are in the short position because they've crossed through going down. And it peaked out here, giving us that stair-step slope, and the indicators here, same thing. Because there wasn't a kink forming on the tricks indicator here, my only way to enter this trade was with a slingshot entry, which I did. As this candle, and you saw, as this candle had pushed up, it all of a sudden changed momentum. I placed an order, and it was a stop limit order, which meant it would only fill if the market could get me in at that price, not a guaranteed fill. It did come back enough to get me in, and then it shot through and at least hit that 5-tick profit target. That's what I want on a slingshot. I was lucky that it gave me 10. Okay, so don't expect to do 10-tick trades or on those type of patterns. And just because of the nature of the Russell, now we're seeing a lot of back and forth fluctuation. Looking back at this wouldn't necessarily be a pattern I would pick out quickly and say, oh yeah, I would have traded that. Because hindsight is a little different here than live market. But this was definitely, at the time, was a good signal. By the end of it, that signal had disappeared. So with 2 contracts, that's $150. It probably took 3 minutes or so, probably less than that. But on the 2-minute time frame, it was entry on this candle, exit on this candle, so probably really less than 3 minutes. Not a bad day. Now, if you can learn to do this and make a very conservative profit target consistently, that's the key to long-term success. And then just slowly and gradually start building your account. Don't increase the number of contracts you trade too quickly. If you make a lot of money quickly, you can lose it quickly. So I want you to build a good, strong, solid foundation first, and then gradually build your account.